Have you ever wondered about the magic encased within a cup of tea and a biscuit? The allure of this universal duo is not just about the comforting warmth of a cuppa or the sweet crunch of a biscuit. No, it extends far beyond that. It's about the serenity that descends upon you with each sip, the tranquility that unfolds as you nibble on a biscuit. It's an experience, a moment of calm in the midst of a chaotic day. The act of sipping tea and nibbling on a biscuit is, in many ways, a spiritual journey. It's a ritual that brings peace, a respite that allows you to take a step back, to breathe. It's a moment of connection with oneself, with the world around us, with the universe. This isn't just a tale of taste buds, it's a spiritual journey spearheaded by one man, Duncan Sippet. Now, who was Duncan Sippet, you ask? Ah, a tale worth telling indeed. Duncan Sippet, born to a humble family in the heart of England, was a lad known for his insatiable love for tea and biscuits. As a child, he would often be found in the kitchen, brewing pots of tea and baking batches of biscuits while the other children played outside. His passion was not the fleeting fascination of a young boy, it was the start of a lifelong journey. As he grew older, his love for tea and biscuits only deepened. He began to experiment with different tea leaves, brewing methods and biscuit recipes. The kitchen became his laboratory, and every cup of tea, every biscuit, a new experiment. He explored black, green and white teas, paired them with biscuits made from a variety of grains and flavors. His quest was not just to enjoy tea and biscuits, but to understand the magic behind them. Years passed and Duncan's experiments expanded beyond his family's kitchen. He travelled far and wide, visiting tea plantations and biscuit factories, learning from the masters and tasting a myriad of flavours. His name became synonymous with tea and biscuits in his town, and soon his fame spread across the country. The journey was not always easy. There were times when his experiments failed, when his tea tasted bitter or his biscuits crumbled. But Duncan was undeterred. He believed that the beauty of tea and biscuits lay not just in their perfect combinations, but also in their individual imperfections. His passion for tea and biscuits became his purpose. He shared his knowledge, his love, and his biscuits with anyone willing to listen and learn. Duncan Sippet was not just a man who loved tea and biscuits. He was a man who lived them. He believed every sip of tea and every bite of a biscuit was a spiritual experience, a moment to be savoured. His love for tea and biscuits wasn't just a preference, it was a calling. Our dear Duncan didn't just sip tea, he embraced it. Immerse yourself now in the spiritual journey of Duncan Sippet. This wasn't a tale of mere indulgence in tea and biscuits. No, Duncan found something much deeper in the aromatic swirls of his morning brew and the crumbly texture of his favourite biscuit. He found peace, solace and enlightenment. You see, for Duncan, tea was more than a drink, and biscuits were more than a snack. They were a philosophy of life, a ritual of comfort, a moment of reflection, and an art of patience. Each sip of tea was a meditation, each bite of biscuit a contemplation. He believed that the act of brewing tea was akin to brewing one's thoughts. The heat of the water, the steeping of the leaves and the gradual change in colour all mirrored the process of nurturing ideas and emotions. The biscuit, on the other hand, symbolised the tangible results of these thoughts, the fruits of labour, if you will. Its crumbling under the gentle pressure of a bite was akin to the way life often crumbled, only to reveal something even sweeter within. And so Duncan's days were filled with these moments of quiet introspection and humble indulgence. He would sit by his window, a cup of tea in one hand, a biscuit in the other, and gaze out at the world, taking in its beauty, its chaos, its silence, and its noise. He would ponder life's mysteries, find solace in its complexities, and derive joy from its simple pleasures. The ritual of tea and biscuits was his sanctuary, a safe haven from the turmoil of the world. A place where he could find himself over and over again. A place where he could lose himself too, within the depths of his thoughts, within the warmth of his cup, within the sweetness of his biscuit. And so his journey continued, one cup of tea at a time, one biscuit at a time. For Duncan, every cup of tea was a new discovery, a new journey. Duncan Sippet, the man, the myth, the legend. But what did he leave behind? Think about this for a moment. Duncan Sippet was more than just a man with a fondness for tea and biscuits. He was a visionary, a pioneer who forever changed the world of tea and biscuits. His teachings transcended the act of sipping tea and munching on biscuits, transforming it into an art, a ritual, a spiritual journey. Duncan's impact on the world of tea and biscuits was profound. He saw tea and biscuits not as mere food and drink, but as a means of connection, of mindfulness, of joy. He taught us that each cup of tea is a world unto itself, each biscuit a bite-sized piece of bliss. He showed us how the simple act of brewing tea and biting into a biscuit can be a meditative experience, a moment of calm in the chaos of life. His teachings have changed the way people perceive tea and biscuits. No longer are they seen as just a quick snack or a beverage to warm up with. Instead, they have become a way of life, a philosophy, a means of achieving inner peace and tranquility. This shift in perception has led to a tea and biscuit movement that has swept across the globe, with millions of followers who adhere to Duncan's teachings. These followers, or Sippetarians as they like to call themselves, carry on Duncan's legacy. They meet in tea houses, homes and online forums, sharing their experiences, exchanging tea and biscuit recipes, and spreading the word about the spiritual journey that Duncan introduced to the world. They are a testament to the lasting impact that Duncan has had. But perhaps the most significant part of Duncan's legacy is not the tea and biscuits themselves, but the sense of community, the shared experiences and the moments of peace and reflection that they bring. In a world that is often too fast, too loud, too overwhelming, Duncan's teachings offer a moment of respite, a moment to breathe, to connect, to be present. Duncan's legacy is not just in the cup, but in the hearts of all tea and biscuit enthusiasts. So where does that leave us, the humble tea and biscuit lovers today? In this fast-paced world, where convenience often trumps tradition, the spiritual journey of tea and biscuits continues to thrive, to offer solace and to inspire. From the bustling streets of London to the serene tea gardens of Darjeeling, the humble act of brewing tea and nibbling on a biscuit has become a sacred ritual. A pause in the chaos, a moment of calm. And it's not just about the act itself, it's about the sense of peace it brings. The world may be spinning on its axis, but when you're holding a warm cup of tea, when you're breaking a biscuit in half, everything just stops. There's a silent whisper in the air, a gentle reminder of Duncan Sippet's teachings, to slow down, to savor, to be in the moment. Across the globe, people continue to find comfort in this simple act. It's the first thing we reach for when we wake up, the last thing we crave before we sleep. It's our companion in solitude, our solace in grief and our joy in celebrations. It's a bridge between hearts, a thread that connects us all. Duncan's teachings continue to inspire and guide us. He taught us that it's not about the perfect brew or the most exquisite biscuit. It's about the process, the anticipation, the patience. It's about the steam rising from the cup, the crumble of the biscuit, the warmth spreading through your hands, the taste lingering on your tongue. And as we continue to navigate through life, as we continue to sip our teas and bite into our biscuits, we're not just participating in a simple act. We're embarking on a spiritual journey, one that soothes our souls, quiets our minds, and brings us closer to ourselves. In the end, it's not just about the tea or the biscuit. It's about the journey, the peace, the tranquility. It's about the magic. So next time you sip your tea and bite into that biscuit, remember, you're not just enjoying a simple snack. You're partaking in a centuries-old tradition, a spiritual journey, if you will, that was championed by none other than Duncan Sippet. His love for tea and biscuits was not just about the taste, but the peace and tranquility they brought him, a peace he wished to share with the world. Every cup of tea and every bite of a biscuit is a chance to pause, to reflect, to find a moment of calm in the chaos of daily life, just as Duncan Sippet did. It's an invitation to find joy in the simple things, to appreciate the magic in the everyday, and to remember that even in the humblest of biscuits and the most mundane of teas, there is a world of wonder waiting to be discovered. And that, dear friends, is the magic of tea and biscuits, the legacy of Duncan Sippet, and the spiritual journey we all embark upon with every sip and bite.